Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish.
Hey, welcome everybody. Guess what? It is Monday, not Tuesday. And this is our live date because tomorrow I'm going to be off the grid. I just want to share, guess what I'm doing on January 1st, January 1st, New Year's Day. I am doing a polar plunge with a bunch of people from my pickleball into the lake. Am I crazy or what? It's going to be so cold. I'm doing it because I can, and I want to prove to myself that I can do hard things and that I can push through the uncomfortable parts. Something that we do. Anyway, I will share with you the trauma of the whole thing after I've done it and the lessons learned, because it's not just talk. I'm actually going to do this. I have made it so that I cannot get out of it. I am making a modified plunge. I am not going to go head over, get my hair all wet and all of that. I'm going up to my neck, but still I'm getting into that cold water in January 1st. So there will be no videos of this, by the way. No, thank you. But I am doing this, and I've got a whole bunch of other crazy people who are going to do it with me. Why not? Life is short. The other thing that is happening right now is I'm going to make a case today for you to get the blueprint. We've talked about this blueprint before. It basically is the Vision Board Workshop, the new Take Back Your Life journal, and the Rising Tide class that's all together. And the reason I am so intent on this is because it is an actual blueprint for you to get your 2025 together. And there's nothing more important than right now setting up for success for tomorrow. People get really, flustered and confused and frustrated about where to go and what's next. And so you're a braver woman than Jenny. What else is it that you're going to do? What else is it that you're going to do except set yourself up for success? That is my whole thing. I hope that's yours. This is how I roll. I get my stuff set up. There's a lot of things that have been going through my head lately. I will be sharing some of them with you. I'm going through some tough stuff lately. Not necessarily ready to share all of that, but the tough stuff is the stuff that sets us up and tees us up for what is next. And like I like to say is there will be another side of this. You might be here, but you're working on getting over here. There's a bridge that needs to get built. And I'm working on my bridge right now. Are you? I'm working on my launch pad for 2025 right now. Are you? I've got all my stuff out. My little vision board is almost built. Next Saturday, this Saturday coming up, January 4th, is our vision board workshop. And I am so stoked about that. What do you see the training that goes with it and all the other stuff? It's going to be amazing. Amazing. And I will tell you, this is an actual tool that your brain can use, because if we can train our brains, we can do anything. That is the truth. We can do anything. It's just, we can't we can't believe everything that we think. And two, we can't let our brains run amok like some, runaway dog. We need to pull them in. We need to put them on a restraint. We need to say, hey, this is what it's about. Jeanette, hello. You're surprised to see me on Monday? Well, we're almost done with the holidays. Let me just put it to you that way. We're almost done with the holidays. 2 more days and we're done, and we will be back to our regularly scheduled program, as they say. Anyway, so all of that to say that, we have an opportunity, and the opportunity is ours. And you and I can both do something different to make 2025 different. And it starts with the setup. And that's what the blueprint is all about. Okay. That's at savingdinner.com/show. That's with everything, the vision board workshop, the journal, and the Rising Tide class. And when you put all three of those components together, you are going to get successful, and you're also going to get a great deal. All right. So that's really important. Nicki Minaj, like you're going to hear me quote Nicki Minaj. Yes, you are. She said this. I thought this was amazing. I will not let anyone scare me out of my full potential. And it's true. A lot of times people are scared out of their full potential. Somebody says something or rains on their parade or makes them feel less than. I'm not going to let that happen. Are you? Absolutely not. We are worth so much more than that. Trish, hello. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're here live as well. Think about that one though. Really, really think about it, because so many times we quickly retreat and allow somebody else's opinion of us or whatever it is to scare us out of what could be ours, this beautiful potential, this huge opportunity in front of us. Think about it. So today's show is, and don't forget, we have the Sprint webinar tonight. Did I tell you that? savingdinner.com/sprint webinar. You might want to come to that. You know why? We're teeing up another sprint and getting ready to really take back our lives, take back our bodies, take back that which is ours. I'm looking at 2025 as being a manifesto of sorts. Like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to accomplish. And this is the way I'm going to get there. Making the roadmap, making the blueprint. And today I want to share with you about, all the New Year stuff is coming out right now. New year, new you. And I'm like, give me a break. So this is really what I'm putting on Substack today. If you've been watching my Substack, I think it's under Saving Dinner. I'm not sure even what it's under, or just Leanne Ely, but I'm on Substack if you want to subscribe there and get some of my newsletters and what have you. But, I was thinking about the difference between New Year's resolutions and goals. And I'm kind of disgusted, if you will, with New Year's resolutions, because this is, for me, what a New Year's resolution was: a yellow pad, scribbling some stuff out, throwing the yellow pad into my desk and never seeing it again. Right. And then all of a sudden I'm cleaning out my desk and I find this yellow pad and I look at it and go, well, that was nothing. But goals are different. Goals are way different. The contrast is that resolutions are stuff that you kind of patch together, and it's just, a bunch of broken promises, really. And it's a bunch of stuff that we, as I say in my Substack, we're saying, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds, and we're scarfing down the rest of the holiday cookies, wearing our workout clothes that we haven't worn for really working out. It's just been comfortable because jeans pinch our middles, So if we look at resolutions as like a bad date, lots of talk, no walk, zero follow through, and a guaranteed disappointment, then we can start taking a look at what a true goal is and how they are so much different, right? Because what happens with New Year's resolution is that they leave, they fly, they're gone. They were a good idea to start, and then 24 hours later, they're already starting the distant memory stuff. And by mid-January, and certainly by February, they are completely obliterated from our memory. Whereas we are going to be in this place of creating goals that creates new neural pathways in our brain. That's a whole different thing, and it changes everything. So there's a reason, though, that resolutions fail. And one of the main things is that they're vague and they're punitive as well. Who wants that? Who wants to feel punished for wanting to have something instead? Because we'll say things like, oh, well, this year I resolved to not eat sugar. But we don't say what it is that we are going to eat, right? Or I'm going to go to the gym every day. Really? Nobody goes to the gym every day. You need a day of rest and what have you. It's not only unrealistic, it's masochistic, and we need to be taking care of ourselves and seeing ourselves through the lens of compassion at the same time as we're looking toward ambition. This is important. And so and I heard the other one that I've heard before is, I'll be a better person. And what does that even mean? Vague. So vague resolutions die faster than, a house plant if you have a brown thumb. they're just the worst. They do not give you a clear destination, and they're just going to put you back into the same place that you always were, with just a heap more frustration. So how do we do goals that actually work? Well, I have my own ways, and I've never really sat there and put it all together for you in a show, so I'm going to. And the first thing is that our real goals are always going to show up with deadlines that are attainable. And the deadlines that I'm talking about are 90 days and not a year. And the reason that we go for 90 days is because it creates a deadline and puts a sense of urgency on them that there wouldn't otherwise be. Because a year just seems like, that's going to just take forever. So this is 90 days gives you and even if you have like a bigger, larger, BHAG type of a goal, still the 90 days creates that sense of urgency, and it gives you meaningful progress, but it's short term enough that it's going to keep you engaged, right? And the way that we do this is with affirmations. And we have to choose 4 goals, and we have to keep things in present tense and blah, blah, blah. So let's start with the 4 goals. I like heart, mind, body, soul because it's the entire woman. When we encompass the entire woman, when we understand that we aren't just our dress size or lipstick color or all the rest that you've heard me say over and over again, when we understand who we are, and that's the entirety of who we are, and we address each part of us, then we assign a different meaning to the entirety of who we are, period. If we make humongous lists of everything in the world that we want to do, and it becomes this gigantic, enormous goal list, we will be exhausted and we will not be doing anything. There will be just nothing but sheer frustration. But 4 goals, heart, mind, body, soul, doable, really, really doable. So here's an example. And again, affirmations, I like I am, and keeping it in the present tense. So for your heart, it's relationships. I am someone who prioritizes meaningful connection. So what does that mean? When you ask yourself that question, what does that mean? You can immediately come up with answers and a corresponding to-do list. What does it mean for a meaningful connection? It means somebody that you can speak to, somebody that you can do things with, somebody that cares about you and you care about them. What is it specifically that you can do? You can send a text, you can send a phone, you can call them, you can make arrangements to have a outing with them or something. But you think about that, if we put the time into those types of meaningful connections and make sure that these people who are on your list of relationships feel touched and seen and loved by you, the connection and the relationship improves. That's a meaningful goal for anyone, because at the end of the day, when you are on your deathbed, you want your loved ones there. You want those connections, because that's the thing that matters more than what was in your wallet. And number 2 is your mind. This is the growth that you'll experience. This also is neuroprotective, because if you are a lifetime learner, for example, and that's what I have, is I am a lifetime learner. You're always learning. You're always expanding your skills. You're always looking toward what's next. Then your mind is going to grow. And as we learn new things, we then apply them into our lives and we become even more of what it is that we desire to be. It is that simple. And this is a really easy goal too, because you can put books on that list. You can put classes on that list. You can do all kinds of things. You can map it out for the year, but I suggest only 90 days so that you can see, okay, this is what you're doing. And then for the task part of it, it's like, I'm going to study Spanish because I'm trying to learn Spanish, or I'm going to read this book and get through this book. I had a goal last year of trying to read like 52 books. I did not, or 50 books rather. I did not, but I did read about 30 something books. So I'm going to temper that down a little bit because lifetime learners are people who read. So that's something else. These are, again, it's an identity shift as well. And then your body, well, mine, that has been my mantra and my goal for the last few years is I am an athlete. And I'm an athlete who treats my body with care. I feed it for my sport. I exercise it for my sport. I feel better in my body because of my sport. And that's because I'm an athlete. That's my new identity. And these are things that we can do. This is heart, mind, body, soul. I'm deeply connected to my purpose. And what is your purpose? Your purpose is something that fluctuates depending on where you are with the season in your life. Your purpose is always, always, always going to be dependent on where you are. If you are raising little kids, I promise you, your purpose is to bring those people up as best you can to become citizens in this world that are fruitful, productive, happy people. That's a big order. If your purpose right now, if you're taking care of an elderly parent, you know what the drill is on that. I've been through both of these different things. Now I'm in a different season of my life. My season in my life now is figuring out the next part of my purpose. The next part of my purpose as a woman of my age is to find other women who are my age who are looking to live their lives in full bloom. Not look wistfully back, but instead look excitedly forward. And there's a possibility for that. So another thing that I have that I think is so important that will absolutely wire this stuff in is writing it down daily. You can write down 4 goals daily that says, I am deeply connected to my purpose. I am a lifetime learner. I am an athlete. You can figure out activities for that every single day. And as you do, you become. As you do these things, you become. Not only are you wiring it in your head about that, but you're also flicking on the reticular activating system, which is looking for opportunities to fulfill these goals. Because you're telling yourself this is who you are. This is what you believe about who you are. And as you become, by saying I am, this is part of the present tense stuff. Does this make sense to you? I sure hope so, because I don't feel like I'm explaining it well. But this is how we roll. When we are doing this, we're changing everything. We're changing our body's chemistry. We're changing the way we think about things. We are becoming these certain things, and we're finding the tasks that fit with them. We're tapping down the amygdala who says, no, you're not, you can't do this or whatever, because we're filling that time again with tasks that support these goals that we're talking about. And if we're doing it daily in our journal, which takes 2 minutes, can you imagine what your life is going to look like at the end of the year? Can you imagine? So the neuroscience of this whole thing is you are rewiring your brain when you're writing this stuff down. And it helps you to see yourself differently. It helps you to see yourself as someone who actually accomplishes her goals. Because one of the things that I have noticed in all these years of doing all these courses and what have you, how many times people say, well, I write down all these goals and it never happens. Well, the reason why is 1, too many goals. 2 is probably way too vague. 3, they're not in present tense. 4, they're not in this manifesto affirmation type of a thing, which declares who you are and what you're becoming. And the other thing is that the time period is way, 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 way too long. So if we bring this all in and we make these tiny wins every single day, guess what happens? You're stepping your way into success. And then the third thing is that you're making daily to-do lists that align with your goals. It's really Simple to do that. You put your dates for when you're going to go to the gym and you block that time off on your calendar. You put in the time that when you're going to sit there and read that book or practice your Spanish or whatever it is that you're doing. And then as far as your purpose, and you meditate on that. If you're saying, I don't have a purpose right now, and my kids are grown, my parents are gone, and I don't know, it's okay. You know why it's okay to not know? Because it will show up for you the more you say, I am deeply connected to my purpose. And then suddenly one day, there it is. And you're going, I get it. I get it. It's really important that we just know that this is what we want. We do not need to know the how, because the how will always show up if we turn on our reticular activating systems. Now, hear me on that. It is the truth. It is the truth. So we're going to completely shift our paths when we do this. We're going to get out of the negative self-talk and what have you, because this old stuff is going the way of the dinosaur, because you're wiring in the new stuff every single day. Not that it won't try to pop its ugly little head up again. You know how that is. However, you do have the ability to keep on saying, nope, not that, this. Redirect yourself. You know how we redirect toddlers. Yes, if you've had a toddler, you redirect them. Let's not stab the eyes out of the cat. Let's show them how to pet the cat gently and not hurt it. So when we make those daily to-do lists that align with our goals, we are merely affirming this new neural connection. So here's what an example of your day can look like. For your heart, you call your best friend and you talk on the phone for 10 minutes, or you drop a text, or you even send out a thank you note to somebody who, I was just thinking about you and I just want to thank you for all these years of friendship, yada, yada, yada. These little touches add up. We do not have to have big, grand, sweeping gestures. We don't. And we do not have to remake the whole world in one day. We just need to do these little tiny things. And then on your mind, you're reading a chapter of a book, of your book stack. Everybody that I know has a book stack of things that they want to read. So you have your entertainment type stuff, and you also have your educational stuff, because it's important for you to grow your mind, as well. And then your body, you're going to figure out your gym schedule. Maybe you're taking yoga online, or you're doing a bar class or Pilates or what. I don't care what you're doing. Just do it. This is who you are. This is how you make this thing happen. You prep a bunch of salmon and you've got that in your refrigerator, and you've got meals to fall back on instead of doing something crazy that's not going to align with your goals. And then your soul, I'll tell you, the other thing is, with your soul, a gratitude practice is total soul food, because that's going to feed into what your purpose is. It will show you. That's what gratitude does. And gratitude also, you have a really, really hard time being angry and depressed and mad when you're spending time in gratitude. Think about that. The last thing is to start each day intentionally. My saving grace, I think I've shared this with you years ago. This quote changed my life, and it's Robin Sharma. What you focus on grows, what you think about expands, and what you dwell upon becomes your destiny. So if you choose to focus on all the crap in your life that is wrong, you're going to get more of it. If you think about that constantly, it will expand to take up that space. And if you dwell on it, that is your destiny. And then you're saying, well, yeah, I just knew it. I mean, see, I told you so. That's your reticular activating system working on your behalf. And your reticular activating system isn't going to measure things for you and say good or bad. All it does is take the data that you're giving it and shift it into giving you more. This is how we know how to manipulate our brain. And yeah, it might be hard. It might be hard. Oh no. But go jump in a lake on a cold January 1st day and tell yourself that you can do uncomfortable, hard things, because you can. Tell yourself that this is what you're made for. You are not meant to sit on your potential, right? You are meant to do something with it. You have been given talents and abilities and dreams and creativity and an imagination and all the rest of it for a very clear purpose. And again, those purposes all line up with according to the season of your life. But I'm going to tell you right now that just doing these little things of starting to think just a little bit differently, of starting to put your mind on the things that you want instead of the stuff you don't, the creativity comes, the solutions come, the ideas come. And when you add on top of that and the understanding that you're fearfully and wonderfully made and that you're here on purpose and for purpose, and you really get into the weeds on that one, then you're going to start to see that these goals that we're talking about, these simple, tiny little goals that we're talking about, have the ability to radically change your life. And I'm not just blowing smoke here. I'm not just saying this because I think it's a cute thing to say, or it's the thing to say just because, New Year's Day is around the corner. It's because I know it, because I've lived it. I've done it. And to me, this is the whole success secret, if you will, of accomplishing your goals. It doesn't have to be a big, fancy, complicated system. It needs to be simple. It needs to be doable. And it needs to be something that you can apply on a daily basis. Because it's through the daily action that we get the success that leads to the dream life that we've always dreamt about. Do not keep doing the same thing that you've always done if it hasn't given you the results you want. It's time to radically shift and it's time to really think things through. So we have the tools. I'm telling you, we have the tools. We've got the blueprint. And in the blueprint are all the things. It's the Rising Tide Goal Class. It is the Take Back Your Life Journal, all new. And lastly, but not least, it's the Vision Workshop, the Vision Board Workshop. That's happening this Saturday. So I just want you to really start plugging this stuff in and thinking about, where do I want to be? First quarter of March. Think March 30th. What do I want? What do I want? What do I want to see accomplished by then? Think about what it's going to look like for you. And until then, I will hold space for you on that, because I really believe in you. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that you are here on purpose and for purpose, and that you can do this work. You can do it. And that's all I have for you today. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for making 2024 for me wonderful. And I think 2025 is going to be off the chain. All right. Peace be with you. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. I will see you in 2025. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.